Hi, Stephen from Owner Disown. Well, 2018 is over, and next week we'll be seeing what new generation laptops will be launched. Now, 2018 started with a bang. It launched with the desktop i7 8700K 6-core CPU, and as usual, the first laptops to gain the new CPUs are the ones that use desktop chips. Now, I reviewed the Razer NP9877 in January and receives my award for my favourite laptop of the year. I recognise it's not for everyone, but with the desktop i7 8700K and space with two GTX 1080s at the same cost as, say, the 17-inch laptops like the Alienware 17R4, but with so many more ports and expandability. It has space for two 2.5-inch drives, three M.2 drives and 4 RAM slots. The GPU is MXM based, so that can be upgraded as well. Now, spare parts are also readily available. So it's as close to a desktop in a laptop form factor as you can get. But at over £11, it is heavy, and aesthetically, it's not the best looking. It's actually pretty chunky, and there's no coloured accent. So compared to the likes of the Asus G703 GS, it looks pretty plain. Now, the G703 was probably my second favourite 17-inch laptop because it looked really nice and it had great cooling. It performed extremely well and had great keys with separate keys for controlling the volume and software, and had a very nice quick access panel for upgrades. But what were the best value 17-inch laptops I tried in 2018? Well, the contenders on this would be the Asus ROG GL702ZC and the Overpowered 17 Plus. Now, the Asus was the only 8-core laptop I tried, and it had an RX 580 GPU. It performed similarly to a GTX 1060 in games, and with the added benefit, it smoked most i7 8758 laptops in CPU work. Even the likes of the Asus X7 V8 with its i7 8850H CPU was nowhere close. Now, its panel had FreeSync, it had decent color accuracy, and it was also pretty bright. Unfortunately, its Achilles heel was that the AMD updates were more poor than, say, Intel or Nvidia. But for $1,230, it is great value. However, the Overpowered 17 Plus will win this award, as even at $1,300, it is extremely well specced out with a 144Hz panel, a 6-core CPU, GTX 1060, a massive 32 gigs of RAM, and loads of storage with a 2TB hard drive and 2 M.2 slots. Now, it also has a mechanical keyboard and large trackpad, and that is icing on the cake. Now, 15-inch laptops are the most popular. And although I didn't try it, the Overpowered 15 Plus was probably the best value. It went as low as $799 with similar specs to the 17-inch, and perhaps it was only let down with its single-channel RAM. Now, of the ones I tested, my favourite 15-inch laptop was probably the Asus ROG Strix Hero 2. Now, I was surprised at how well it performed, and without doubt, its i7 8750H CPU was the fastest out of all the ones I tested. It was pretty much on par to the desktop Ryzen 7 1700, which had 2 extra cores. It was also one of the coolest running laptops I've tried, and for me, it tops the pack in the GTX 1060 category. It was also very good to look at, with the ROG emblem glowing on the lid, and it had plenty of ports as well. Now, a close second would have to be the MSI GP63, with its excellent screen and excellent cooling, but aesthetically, it wasn't quite as good. Now, an honourable mention must go out to the MSI GT63 Titan. Now, although this is without doubt the most powerful 15-inch laptop I reviewed, it has a full GTX 1080 in it and a package that actually weighs less than the Dell G7. Now, the worst 15-inch gaming laptop actually goes to the most popular laptop I reviewed. The HP Pavilion had a poor screen and even worse thermals. Its base configuration was hampered also with a slow hard drive and single-channel RAM. Still, it did drop to a very low price of $479, which was very good value for a GTX 1050 Ti laptop. It did handle VR games pretty well, and for its original price, which was close to $800, it was easily outperformed by the Dell G3 with the GTX 1060 from Micro Center. Now, the ultimate worst laptop that I reviewed on my channel in 2015, that award has to go to the LG Gram 15. Now, that was $1,700 and the specs were shocking. Quad-core 15-watt CPU with integrated graphics, and the only thing going for it was this Thunderbolt port. Now, 2018 did see an influx of thin and light laptops as more manufacturers embraced NVIDIA's Max-Q GPUs. Now, Gigabyte probably had the best specs with their Aero 15W and 15X, although they were let down by single-channel RAM and their ELAN trackpads. Like most thin and lights, they ran a bit hot, but with two M.2 slots, an SD card reader, Ethernet jack, it was pretty well configured. Now, despite this, it wasn't my favorite though. I did like the MSI GS65 Stealth because it ran pretty cool and it was extremely light. But the inverted motherboard was a big put off for me, and some reported that its hinges were rather weak. Now, the Alienware M15 was late to the party. It looked pretty poor with those big glossy bezels and actually ran the hottest of the bunch. So although it held the most potential, its very large battery and good storage, it probably ended up being my least favorite. It was supposed to replace the Alienware 13R3, but my OLED model just looked so much nicer and it was cooler to boot. Now, probably the best looking thin and light laptop, that award probably goes to the Razer 15. Now, it too ran hot, but there was no getting away that it looked cool and had stellar build quality. Now, the obvious choice is the Asus Zephyrus S, and with a lower price tag and best-in-class thermals, it wins the award for the best thin and light. It was a solid performer at a reasonable price. Build quality is also very good. Now, the only things lacking on it were there was no Thunderbolt port and it had poor battery life. Now, the best 2-in-1 award goes to my Dell XPS 15 2-in-1. Battery life is outstanding. Its screen is very sensitive for both touch and pen support. It has great speakers and solid build quality. And to top it off, it has Vega MGL graphics, which performs slightly faster than a GTX 1050. Consequently, it also wins the award for the most versatile laptop. It is a good laptop for gaming and productivity. And having a Thunderbolt 3 port is also great for added future proofing. The best value 2-in-1 has to go to the HP Envy 360 15Z though. For less than $600, you get a good laptop with a touchscreen, pen support and Vega 8 graphics, which allowed for reasonable frame rates at 720p. In 2018, I reviewed 24 laptops, 15 of which I actually bought myself. But 2019 will certainly see new laptops with 9th gen Intel CPUs and RTX GPUs. But I'm also hopeful that 2019 can be the year that AMD actually show us what they can do. So next up will be CES. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out any of that live footage, and I'll see you there. Thank you. Bye.